Greetings and welcome to the energy of Cancer. We are activating the fourth house, that is 7th from the 10th, which is essentially the axis of the inner world and the outer worlds, the house of the self, or you can call it the self, the house of the womb, and the temple and the ashram, versus the institutional, the karmic, the collective, the house of 10. The interesting thing is that the moon, it opposes Saturn in this respect, and what is supposed to be understood in these types of connections that Cancer has is essentially a way to formulate truth, okay, and to come up with a way to make this truth universal, or to make it a collectivized sort of ambition or goal or desire, okay, a collective karma, if you will. And the people that Cancer draw in challenge Cancer's own inner world, and it sort of pushes or promotes the idea that something can come of Cancer's relation to the outer world in terms of its formulation of some sort of universal truth or humanity of some sort, universal humanity. We'll go ahead and get started. We're going to be looking into the month of January 2023 and looking into the karma. We'll look into an incident of karma, and then we're going into the Great Mirror. The Great Mirror is a tool devised by the Order to see particular karmas between the energy of Cancer and a significant other. Okay, the Queen of Cups sits by the sevens of the seven of sword, as well as the 7 of pentacle in the reverse, or rather the 7 of wands in the reverse. And with this, there's a particular movement, an oscillation between worlds, between two different worlds, two different others. Okay, one of the past, one of the future. And there is a transmutation of the element of air into fire. Now, when air goes into fire, the constitution of kama, which is desire and intellectualism, communication, moves into dharma. Okay, it moves into the dharmic path, which is more sattvic in nature. In one respect, it's also vata goes into pitta, which is in Vedic principle, a movement from air to fire, and essentially there's a transmutation in the dharmic quality that emerges. So what I do see here is that there's something about letting go in the month of January of a way of idealization when it comes to your own emotional resonance with your goals or your desires, your ambitions, what makes you whole, what makes you holy. And it changes, it shifts. It's as if you've been trying to get away from something in the past, a way of thinking, a way of avoiding pain. And then a vision comes, a vision of purity in which you can change things and let things slide a little bit. It's a very interesting dynamic here. The King and the Queen of Cups shows up here. We're going to find out more about this King and the love, the 2 of Cups that show up between them. There's something unexperienced here that is going to be experienced. It has to do with, I would say, a rite of passage that is based on something that hasn't been experienced, but has been a type of a burden not having Okay, so this rite of passage, this way, this path that emerges, something that you have overlooked, something that you have not taken, and there's an option to do so right now, and it could be with someone significant, someone who's hiding the truth from you, in one way, shape, or form. We're gonna look into that now, right now. Whomever this king is, they're going to inspire you to essentially come up with a way to a way of prevention, a way to cut out all false pretenses, to purify, a way of purification. But this is a path of self-doubt, almost self-isolation. It's like you're dealing with two different parts of yourselves, and you're trying to find essentially a way to purge yourself of this oscillation, of this way of moving from the mind to the heart, and the heart to the mind, of logic versus passion. There is a sense of an order that comes from this, a need to push things together, to have things come into a type of culmination. And there's a lessening of intensity. What this points to is a cooperation with someone who's like an equal. And this helps you to construct something in terms of a structural way to represent a type of order, a way of doing things in terms of the right thing to do, okay? And you can actually collaborate in the month of January more than you have in the past months before. This has been a very dark period, and there's something about this that allows for rays of light to come through, and also the possibility of working with someone in particular that is something of an equal, and they will help you to essentially purify, come up with a way to let down the pretense and to work with others. At the same time, it's a bit of a gamble. The house of cards could fall at any moment. At the same time, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. I think the more you approach the future, if you were to do things with less intensity, if you were to be gentle, there would be a natural order, a natural sort of design to the way things unfold. Okay, so we are now moving into the Great Mirror. And as I've mentioned before, the Great Mirror is a tool devised by the Order of the Twin Sun to see particularities in terms of karma between the energy of Cancer, the fourth house, and its opposite. Okay, a significant other usually comes through the Great Mirror. We'll go ahead and look deeply into the month of January and the sort of timeless or the sort of specific time and space relationship with this other person. Le Maçon shows up again. Chagrin. Okay, this type of connection is very interesting in that it is inspired to push you forward, to become empowered. Okay. The thing is that both of you are somewhat making a choice. It could be more you than the other, it could be them, but there's a choice, a mutual sort of conclusion occurs here. And I stress the word conclusion, that there is a sense of an ending, a sense of a culmination that is consciously becoming sort of aware or realized right now. And in the month of January, there is a possibility of very strong empowerment, a notion that you can do something, especially as it relates to this person. Now, you're dealing with someone here that represents the culmination of certain things that have been expected of themselves and also of society on them. And they're coming to a point where it's all coming to sort of fruition for them. The thing is that I think that there is difficulty in maintaining what I would call some form of commitment with each other. And there is a need to find balance. There is a need to find also the graces of a fallen Venus. And Venus as a falling star, within this reading, it points to sort of a lack of nourishment on some level. Okay. This also points to the offerings that are trying to be made, and essentially the way into which you can meet this person halfway, in which there's a mutual sort of thing that occurs. Okay. The interesting thing is that mortality or death, the death card, is what emerges out of this. There is a sense of transience, of non-permanence, but also the cycle of life after death. Okay, something that can resuscitate. What death is pointing to is the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so it's the death of a way of cooperation with others, the death of ambiguity when it comes to chaos and order. When it comes to the way things work out, in terms of promises or commitments, in terms of time, energy, resources, to make all of that work in some way, shape, or form has been very difficult on this person. They're finding balance. There's an intention of joy, I would say, an intention of joy, and also something about you that wants to bring less in terms of fertilizing or bringing forward a sense of fertility in the situation. There is a sense of a type of regeneration when it comes to negotiating chaos, negotiating order, and walking the line between them. There's almost a sense of harmony that comes out of this, but it scares them. And also, there's something about this that with Major Arcana, the Chariot card, there is a sense of great potential in this, but at the same time, it's potential that that can be stifling. Okay, but I think for the month of January, you are well protected. You have a great deal of, I would call it ambition or drive or motivation, self-empowerment. And there also is a sense that what is being brought to the table are things that can be known by meeting someone halfway in terms of making a choice. Okay, a gateway can open up from this type of situation. There also is a type of passage, a rite of passage that is based on death and regeneration, the cycle of rebirth. Okay, so I find this extremely complex. At the same time, the advice is to not give your love to where it is not deserved. Also to sort of try to figure out what it is that you think love would be in terms of empathy, in terms of sympathy, in terms of also the capacity for that which you know can be healthy. Okay, that is the very best I can do for the time being. We could go deeper, but I cannot at this moment. Yeah, I cannot. Next month, I should be doing more of an astrological forecast for the energy of Cancer. That's in February. But for now, I do wish you well. Thank you. Bye-bye.